I started with 11 cents in my bank account. I took out a loan for $500. I went 2,000 phone calls with no sales, and I wrote 380,000 my first 8 months after I started actually producing. And I hit 50, 60, 70, $80,000 months my first year. Like, I tell that all the time. And that is a part of who I am as a producer, as a builder in my life. Like, it's my identity. And so if you're just focused on selling, like, be all in on selling. Like, go build your name, build your reputation. And if you can do that, you'll start to attract, as long as you can do one of, I said this is a couple phases of the business. If you can promote yourself, you'll start to attract people who are similar to you, right? Attitude-wise, ambition level, that want to accomplish the things that you're accomplishing. And so on sales side, man, we could go over so many different things, but is everybody on here doing mortgage? For the most part. So in mortgage, there's a couple of things, and you guys have the literal top #1 producer inside of Pinnacle. So like, I don't need to tell you guys how to sell, but a couple of things that have helped me a lot is in the sales process, I love to set the expectation on the call multiple times. What does that mean? I literally tell them at the beginning of the call, even if they're like, I want 100K, this is how I want this to look. I'm like, got it, I'm the protection specialist. I'm gonna be helping you out here today. What we're gonna do today is go over your situation, give me an idea of what it looks like. I'm gonna walk you through how the plans work. Then we're gonna look at a couple different options. After that, we'll choose the one that fits best for you, and then we'll get it set up for you. Sound fair? And then they say whatever they say, right? And then if they're like, well, I just want a quote, I'm like, no problem at all, and we just keep going. And then I say it again. There's a break in my script where I basically say, all right, now I'm gonna walk you through how these plans work, and then we're gonna look at a couple different options, and then we're gonna get one of these set up for you. Makes sense? And then they say whatever they say. And then a lot of times I'm just persuading them throughout the call that we're gonna do this today. Okay, and then I do it a third time. Right before I show the numbers, I say, okay, now we're gonna look at a couple different options, and we're gonna walk through how they work, and then we're gonna choose the one that fits best for you, since it's not a matter of whether or not we're gonna get this, and we'll go ahead and get that one set up for you. Sound fair? They say yes. I've gotten 3 of those now from them. Confirmations that we're gonna do this. And then when they object at the end, because they always, not all of them do, but a lot of them do, right? And then they say, well, we're just gonna think about it. We're gonna talk it over. I say, Susie, well, since it's not a matter of whether or not we're gonna get it, like you said 3 different times today, we'll just start you off with the option that we know is gonna be comfortable and affordable, and we can always come back and add on more. Now, is option number 3, is that $74 a month gonna be comfortable for you month to month? Bam! And now we're in the application. We just move forward. They already told me that it's not a matter of whether or not we're gonna do this 3 times, right? They agreed to me 3 times. And I think that, obviously the why section is very important. You should be layering deep, like bringing out some pain, bringing out some challenges, walking through their situation, like painting an actual picture with them. I like to say this to them, oh my gosh, Susie, I don't know if you guys use digital mailers, fresh, I love digital leads, but if you're doing, mortgage leads and they have equity in their home and they say, yeah, I have $100,000 of equity. Susie, imagine that $100,000 is sitting on your kitchen table. The last thing that we would want is for the bank teller to walk in that front door and take that money, that cash right off the table, right away from your spouse. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a plan together that's gonna put all that cash in a safe for you. So when the bank teller comes and tries to take the money, there's no way for them to be able to grab it because it's gonna be locked up and safe. Does that sound like a way that we could help you out, right? Like, or whatever. And my point is that in the why section, like painting pictures, visually trying to make it emotional for them. Because every client, they have this line. If we can get them to cross this like emotional involvement, because logically it makes sense already. They're looking into it. They've probably talked to somebody else at some point in time. They filled something out, they returned a mailer, they filled something out online, like whatever it is, logically it makes a lot of sense for them. But they haven't made a decision yet. Why? Nobody's given them a reason to make a decision. And so if we can ask the right questions and get their emotion to cross this line, and it's invisible, it's different for everybody, but if you can get their emotion involved in the conversation and cross this line where then they say, I'm ready to make a decision today. Like, they're not gonna say that verbally, that'd be awesome. Right? But they're going to cross a line where they're like, wow, I do need to act on this right now. And that happens by bringing out the emotion and the pain inside of the conversation about what it's going to look like, the fear of loss of all that equity, the fear of loss of the house going back to the bank and not ending up with the family. Right? So from a sales perspective, I hope that that's valuable.